Financial Accountancy Demystified. Copyright 2020 by Mahesh Kumar Shankaranarayanan. All rights reserved. Page 2 of 64. Acknowledgements. This effort of mine bears fruition thanks to my family and many well-wishers of mine, who have marched together with me in every step of this journey either physically or as a moral support. I want to dedicate this effort to my late parents for being the guide in my early days with this subject. I remain in humble gratitude to all my teachers from school, college, and post-graduation, as well as the countless authors before me who have penned far superior books on this subject that has shaped my learning to a level that I can also teach it to others. A special note is deserved towards all the people who cast aside their bias and gave me a critical review that has gone a long way in improving the presentation of this book. Page 3 of 64. Preface. I have indeed surprised myself by writing this booklet to be more precise. But it has always been at the back of my mind to do something towards a subject that I found to be very interesting and developed a deep proficiency in, but sadly observed that it failed to attract many brilliant minds that I interacted with in my student life. No offense meant, but it was especially the engineer tribe. When I was doing my graduation in commerce, I never got close enough to the subject as I was surrounded by like-minded people who at least did not hate it. It was during my MBA, and particularly because of hostel life, that I was thrown amidst an inquisitive set of people who intended to take the subject apart just as they would do with a piece of machinery. Unfortunately, they intended to do so by abusing and not mastering it. It seemed to me to be a typical case of fear of the unknown. Even as I clarified the doubts of these people, I found that they dismissed the subject as monotonous, illogical, and with every other choice phrase from the dictionary. I realized rather quickly that it was an effort to justify their lack of enthusiasm in attempting to learn the intricacies of a subject that was, let me accept at least this, poorly packaged. How else could one explain the fact that these were the very same people who came back to me with the most basic doubt only to start accusing the subject again as being illogical the moment I started getting into the accounting detail of the issue? I cannot blame them for their basic approach, which is so fine-tuned towards the need to have a scientific reasoning for anything to exist. But neither can I blame the subject for what it is. I happen to know at least the fundamentals of the subject well, and that is what has motivated me to contribute towards the understanding that this subject rightfully deserves. It is my endeavor to make known every facet of this poorly packaged monster, and make life easy if not pleasant. So let me begin by clearing a few misconceptions. This book does not purport to acclaim accounting as a glorious profession, espouse the subject as a discipline to be mastered, or claim itself as a rulebook to be adhered to. This book is purely meant to showcase the logic and completeness of the subject in terms of its design as a system that is so crucial in capturing the financial side of everything that happens legally in this world, and my only aim is to present the interlinkages among elements that I understood to be the foundation for a higher order of learning of this subject. So whether you are a 10th grade student, or a parent of a 10th grade student wanting to specialize in commerce, or you are a non-commerce graduate encountering this subject for the first time in your MBA or other PG course, or if you are a founder of a proprietary or SME business wanting to be on top of your finances, this book is the perfect beginning for you. In order to gain a practicing proficiency in this subject, the reader has to look for supplements that address in far greater detail the various conventions and covenants of financial record keeping, but I can assure you that the next 60-odd pages will make you easily understand any complex topic on this subject. I can confidently tell you that your purchase of my book is a lifelong investment toward learning this crucial domain, or business function, and you will discover how logical the thought process of the founders of this subject has indeed been. Page 4 of 64 Summary of this book. Chapter 1 Introduction. A bird's eye or a drone's view. Chapter 2 The dual aspect. The first hurdle. Chapter 3 The accounting canvas. Paint your own picture, but remember any canvas has its boundaries. Chapter 4 The interdependencies. The devil is always in the details. Chapter 5 The complete cycle. Take a joyous ride on the accounting cycle. Chapter 6, An Introduction to Accounting Ratios. Learning to read between the lines. Annexure 1, Scenario Illustration. An immersive learning experience. Annexure 2, Invoice Illustration. When Rubber Meets the Road. About the author.